Hi, today we're covering bad money habits of business owners, and today's topic is going to be about how a business runs by the seat of their pants. And believe it or not, a lot of us do that because we start off not being prepared, but it's never too late to start preparing for focusing on and planning for your business. So, let's say you purchase or open your first small business or your first business, and no doubt about it, all of my clients, 99.9% of my clients, know their trade. They're good at what they do. They're in love with their trade, and that's what they want to be successful at. When it comes to bookkeeping, when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to finances, lots of skill sets there are lacking, which is not uncommon and not a problem because you know your trade. But it is a deficiency within our education system or within our world that is happening because we, as business owners, we don't take any business management courses, or we lack the business management know-it-all to manage a business. Knowing your trade and working in your trade and managing a business in your trade is completely two different things, because you can be very successful within your trade. You can be very successful, high revenue building within your trade. But because your business management skill sucks, and a large part of business management is finances, your business will fail because of that reason. So the good news is it is possible to come up with we're going to be focusing on budgeting today. And that is the one first thing that we need to be talking about when it comes to maximizing your profits. Because your budget is where you kind of are able to understand what's happening in your business. What do you need? What do you not need? And it's a good estimation and a good, how do they say? Older people say a good yardstick to go by. So I would say, a good balancing scale to go by. That's where it is. So in terms of dollars and cents. So creating a budget does not have to be a hard thing. I mean, you could do it on a napkin if that's something that wherever you start it does not matter. It's, you start off somewhere and then you work on that budget. You keep working at it. Without a budget or a plan, a business runs the risk of spending more money than it's taking in. Conversely, spending not enough money to grow their business and compete with the world. So, how I speak about moderation. Moderation works in everything that we talk about, in everything that we deal with, especially when it comes to finance. If you're spending too little money and you're not growing your business and your business is not growing, then you want to know why that's happening. You can't tighten the budget that well. So you need to make sure that you are with a budget, with a plan. You're going to be able to understand, when you can spend money, what you can spend money on. That's one of the things that I always talk about in everything I do. I don't mind spending my money. I have a problem wasting it. And by us not looking at our finances, by us not tracking our finance, but by us not having a plan, we will tend to waste money, and we will tend to sometimes waste our resources because we're not spending enough money to be more competitive, to grow, to go where we want to go. So, the key takeaway is a business budget helps owners determine if they have enough money to fund their operation, expand, and generate income. So those are the three major things that you want to do. You want to be able to fund your operation, so currently fund what you're doing. You want to be able to expand. Most 99% of businesses, they want to grow, so you will be able to grow. And then, of course, without saying, the first one is, you want to be able to generate income, because if you're not generating income at a consistent basis, then you're not going to be able to grow or expand. So you need to start there by generating income. So like I said, running your business by the seat of your pants, will not be able to help you or understand paying your bills at the end of the month. So you got to make sure that you follow a few different rules, a few different guidelines to analyze what's happening in your business, how to get with your budgets. There are several different kinds of budgets. Most entrepreneurs today, the hot trend is a flexible budget. So something that you start with, but depending on what's happening in the world, and in today's world, I mean, when COVID happened in 2020, a static budget would not have worked for most people because we locked down. We had to reassess the way we were doing business. We had to come up with new plans. We had to learn new things. So a flexible budget would have to work with that way. I believe in flexible budgets, but and budgets are just estimations. They're estimations. So it's educated guesses, educated estimations. They're meant to be a guideline. They're not meant to be set in stone. They're meant for you to understand that if you're on point with what your plan is, or if you're above where your plan is, if you need to readjust your plan. So that's why you need to have a budget. It's all about planning. So, you want to be able to assume the changes that you're making in your plan. You need to adjust the changes in the assumptions that in the plan process. So you want to be able to understand that. The minimum parts of any small budget is your fixed costs, the things that you have to pay for regardless every month. Your variable costs those are depending on what your revenue or your income is, the things that changes within your budget. Then we have one-time costs. One-time cost is usually when you're buying some equipment, or you're occurring, you're doing a build out, you're incurring something that is a one-time thing. And you want to always be looking at your cash flow statement, because that's important in understanding your cash flow. It's not the same thing as your income statement or your profit and loss or the money you have in the bank. You need to understand your cash flow. What's going to be coming in, what is in, what's going to be coming out, what is going to be coming out, and what's coming out right away. So you need to understand that. And of course, you want to be factoring in, you want to understand your profits. So budgeting what you plan on making for the year is important. Of course, like I said, a variable budget, a flexible budget is something that we need to focus on because our world is changing so fast, and we need to be flexible in everything that we're doing. So again, I say a budget is a plan. It's an educated estimation for your business, but it keeps you on track and lets you know where you're going, and if you're going where you had planned to go, and where there's deviations. So that's part of your number picture. I always talk about your number picture. When you paint your number picture, it's so clear. It's like looking at a sky that's the picture is beautiful. When you don't paint your number picture, when we were younger, we used to have paint by numbers. And if a couple of things is filled out, you can't see the whole picture, so you don't understand what's happening. When you're able to paint your picture and you go with your outline, which is your budget, then you're able to fill in the stuff and understand what's going on and be able to maximize your profitability. Because it's not enough to have maximum revenue. It's what you're keeping of that revenue. So my goal for all businesses, small, big, large, medium, is maximizing profitability. That's my job. That's my goal in teaching my business clients, my business viewers, my business listeners to how to maximize their profitability. Your job, because your trade, is where it comes in, where you're going to be maximizing your revenue. You know how to maximize your revenue. Your marketing team will help you understand that. But my job as a financial literacy coach and teaching you about your bad money habits so you can make them smart money habits is to help you maximize your profitability. And that is the key. You could make millions and billions of dollars. If you're not keeping any of it, or you're not keeping as much as you should be keeping, then what are you working for? So that's what we need to look at. So the key takeaways that I want to talk to you about with the budget is, you make sure you have a plan, you make sure you have the budget, you determine that you have enough money for operations, funds. Without the budget, the company runs the risk of spending too much, like we talked about. You want to make sure that you're creating a budget that check with your industry standards to understand what type of budget you should be creating. For example, if you're in the service industry, if you're in the restaurant industry, if you're in the building industry, in the construction industry, there are specific things that you need to be looking at. And there's so many different templates out there on what you can definitely talk to your tax or your financial advisor or your advisory team on how to create a budget and how to go on working with that, because that's something that they're going to be helping you with. Your bookkeeper are going to be helping you with. Your accountant going to be helping you with. You always want to seek advice on what things are changing and what things you should be thinking about. So this is the end of this budgeting for business owners, making sure that you're getting rid of the bad money habit of not looking at your numbers. Make sure you